क्रॉस कर दे। कविता मित्तल मेरठ, क्रॉस कर। आभा गौतम आगरा कैंट, क्रॉस कर दे, नहीं है। डॉक्टर सुषमा सिंह, डॉक्टर अनीता गुप्ता मथुरा, क्रॉस कर दे, क्रॉस कर। डॉक्टर विजया राय, तो डुप्लीकेट है। नीरा गोयल, सोनिया सिंह, नहीं है, क्रॉस कर दे। किरण श्रीवास्तवा, वो भी नहीं है। अर्चना शुक्ला, बीना अग्रवाल संजीवनी महिला, वो भी नहीं है। कीर्ति नरेन, कमल शर्मा उत्तराखंड, कमल शर्मा। मंजू कौटिल्या, कविता बत्रा, नहीं है, एब्सेंट कर दिया, अभी बाद में देखेंगे। डॉक्टर करुणा शर्मा, हो रही है। रुचि कंतुरिया, नहीं है, इसमें से ये छोड़ दे, ये तो। और पद्मिनी नायर जी, त्रिवेंद्रम ब्रांच, फाइनेंस कमेटी मेंबर। थैंक यू ऑल ऑफ यू। हाँ जी मैम, वो रिग्रेट है ना, इसलिए रिग्रेट मना किया उन्होंने पढ़ने के लिए।
Dear sisters, there's one important announcement from the Treasurer AWC. So this roll call will be there every day twice, mornings and in the afternoons. So I request all of you to be present here to give your attendance. Otherwise, I think all of you know what will happen. So 3 days, you will have 2 roll calls every day. And that is 6 roll calls for this conference. Anything less, then the treasurer will have to take a very strict decision in giving you your TA. Right? I think I'm audible to all of you, or have you shut off your ears? What is it? No bunking is allowed. So the patron is saying that there's no bunking. So let's all be present and hear all the proceedings. Thank you. Dear sisters, I think all of you have your phones on silent mode, strictly on silent mode, no vibrations or flight mode. This pattern is very naughty here. Yeah, so it's a request, and I hope that all of your phones are on silent mode. Thank you. That's what flight mode. one more announcement. I request all of you to be seated in your seats. Please do not walk around. It's a request. The governor will be arriving shortly. Excuse me, governor is arriving. Please be seated. Please do not move around. I can see people walking around. Can we all rise? I request all of you to rise. Thank you. Now, let's go on to the national anthem, which will be followed by Tamil Thai Varthu. So let's all raise for that.
उच्चल जलति तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जाहे तब शुभ आशीष माहे गाहे तब जय गाता जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे நீராடும் கடலொடுத்த நிலமலர்ந்த கெழிலொழுகும் சீராரும் வதனமென திகழ்வரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் அதில் சிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் தக்க சிறு பிறனுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இழந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறமியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
I deem it a great honor and privilege to request our Honorable Governor to light the Kuttu Vilakku. I also request Srimati Padma Venkatraman, our beloved President, Women's Indian Association, Chennai, Srimati Kalyani Raj, our dynamic President of All India Women's Conference, Sister Brahma Kumari Beena, and Srimati Manju Kak, our illustrious Treasurer of All India Women's Conference, to join our Honorable Governor in the lighting of the Kuttu Vilakku. Heartfelt thanks you, sir, for officially inaugurating the conference today. Now, I take great pride in inviting Srimati Padma Venkatraman, President, Women's Indian Association, to grace us with her welcome address.
Very good morning to one and all. Distinguished Chief Guest, Thiru R.N. Ravi, Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu, distinguished guests on the dais, off the dais, and dear friends. on behalf of Women's Indian Association and myself, it gives me immense pleasure to extend a very warm welcome to Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu. We are deeply honored, sir, by your presence on this happy occasion to inaugurate the 93rd Annual Conference of All India Women's Conference. Your presence is a source of great inspiration. This conference is hosted by Women's Indian Association, the first women's organization in India, founded in 1917. We consider this a great privilege to host this national gathering in Tamil Nadu. We thank All India Women's Conference for giving us this opportunity. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to Brahmakumari Beena Didi for her invaluable support in organizing this conference. We thank the brothers and sisters at Happy Village for their tireless effort in making the necessary arrangements. We thank them and welcome them in their own home. It is a great pleasure to extend a hearty welcome to All India Women's Conference President Srimati Kalyani Raj, Secretary General Dr. Manjukar, Treasurer Srimati Upasana Singh, the Executive Committee members, and the members from the AWC branches across the country. A very special welcome to the staff of AWC. They are the backbone of the conference. It is a great joy to express our deep appreciation and welcome our senior patrons of both All India Women's Conference and WA, who are the guiding force of our organization. A heartfelt welcome to our sisters who have traveled great distances from every corner of the country to be part of this conference. Your presence is a testament to our shared commitment to women's empowerment. Words cannot adequately express my appreciation for the dedication and commitment of our WIA Executive Committee members, our enthusiastic branch members, our dedicated volunteers, and our ever-willing staff. A very special welcome to one and all. It is my pleasure to welcome our friends and well-wishers who have joined us today. WA is committed to serving a broad spectrum of marginalized communities through our Reaching the Unreached program. We champion an inclusive society that embraces differently abled individuals, indigenous people communities, and transgenders, and those affected by Hansen disease, commonly known as leprosy, and fisherwomen. We are proud to share with you that one of our branches affiliated to WIA is Differently Abled Women's Association with 5,000 members. We strive to promote self-reliance and sustainable development among these vulnerable groups with the ultimate goal of integrating them into the mainstream. We are proud that they are here with us today, and I join you all in welcoming them here. Today, Honorable Governor's participation, it strengthens our resolve to empower women from every corner of India. We firmly believe that women's empowerment is nation's empowerment. We wish the 93rd Annual Conference of AWC very success. Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am, for your warm and affectionate words. I would now request Srimati Padma Venkatraman, President, Women's Indian Association, to honor the chief guest. Thank you, ma'am. I would now welcome Raj Yogini Sister Brahmakumari Beena Sister to honor the Honorable Governor. Thank you, sister. Next, I would like to call upon Srimati Shanti Socrates, Honorary Secretary, WIA to give a brief introduction about Women's Indian Association.
Okay. Good morning to the esteemed Governor of Tamil Nadu, distinguished dignitaries present on and off the dais, and all gathered here today. The year 1917 was a significant milestone in India's social and political history, particularly with the formation of the Women's Indian Association, WIA, on 8th May at Adyar, Madras. Established by Dr. Annie Besant, Margaret Cousins, and Dorothy Janaraja Dasa, WIA was the first organization in India to stimulate a nationwide awareness among women, encouraging them to take up public roles and responsibilities. The association was also instrumental in advocating for women's suffrage, social reforms, and educational policy changes. WIA contributed to the Home Rule movement in Tamil Nadu and called for equal treatment of Indians, the introduction of compulsory primary education for girls, and reforms in Hindu inheritance laws concerning women. The initial objectives of WIA included guiding the nation, promoting women's education, enforcing universal primary education, abolishing child marriage, raising the age of sexual consent to 16, and securing women's right to vote. By the end of 1917, the association had established 33 branches across various towns, solidifying its position as a pioneering women's organization. WA's advocacy efforts led to the historic achievement of securing voting rights for Indian women and granting them the right to sit in legislative councils. From 1924 to 1926, with its branches making significant strides in improving the well-being of women and children. One of its notable achievements was the creation of the Vigilance Association in Madras, which aided the police in closing 150 brothels in 1934. The association also established rescue homes, orphanages, and contributed to the formation of the Madras Children's Aid Society. Furthermore, it played a key role in the establishment of a juvenile court, with Mrs. Margaret Cousins becoming the first magistrate. Another significant contribution of WIA was the founding of the Cancer Institute in Chennai, which remains a landmark institution in the field. WIA's mission was driven by the belief that gender equality was fundamental to India's progress. Dr. Besant and Mrs. Cousins introduced Western ideas on women's rights and welfare to Indian society, shaping the organization's visions. WIA's efforts were twofold. First, advocating for India's independence from British rule, and second, addressing the socio-political issues that affected women. The association viewed the active involvement of Indian women in the freedom movement as crucial to achieving independence. WIA was not merely an elitist feminist group. It sought real and impactful social change and had successfully achieved several of its goals by the time India gained independence. Sri Dharma, the official publication of WIA, played a key role in the organization's outreach efforts. Initially launched as a monthly publication, it evolved into a journal after 3.5 years. Published in English with articles in both Tamil and Hindi, Sri Dharma became a platform for discussing issues related to women's welfare, social reforms, and developments within the WIA branches. It acted as a voice of the association, inspiring women and young people to envision an India where women played an active and equal role in governance. Sri Dharma provided a space for women to challenge societal norms and engage with the ongoing political and social changes in the country. In the present day, over a century after its establishment, WIA continues to uphold its mission of empowering women and advocating for an equitable society. The association's ongoing work includes initiatives related to environmental sustainability, gender sensitivity, climate change, and energy conservation. WIA also runs several programs aimed at addressing the needs of women and children, including creche facilities, working women's hostel, family counseling, nurse training, computer education, nutrition production, tailoring, and health and environmental awareness campaigns. Furthermore, WAA promotes skill development programs, financial literacy, cyber safety, and disaster relief initiatives, among others. After 107 years of dedicated service, WAA remains a beacon of hope for women, continuing to work towards improving the status of women who face social injustices and limited opportunities. Its inclusive approach, focus on empowerment, and unwavering commitment to gender equality and social justice continue to inspire future generations of women and social workers, ensuring that its legacy endures for years to come. Thank you all.
Thank you very much for the introduction, Secretary Ma'am. I'm greatly honored to welcome Srimati Kalyani Raj, President, All India Women's Conference, to deliver a brief introduction about the conference, followed by a few words about the report on women's safety brought out by AWC.
Good morning and namaskar to one and all. Thank you, Padma ji and the WIA team for hosting this conference here. And a big thanks to the Honorable LG R.N. Ravi for accepting this invitation to grace this occasion with his presence despite your busy schedule. We are privileged to have you here, sir. Just to give you a brief introduction about our organization, actually it runs parallel to WIA, so there is not much I can add, but just a few facts. AIWC is slightly older than the WIA, 98-year-old pioneer women's organization with the primary objective of improving the status of women's education in India. So officially the journey started in February 1927, but the genesis had begun much earlier. A call was given in early 1926 by the Director of Public Instruction, Kolkata, to all the women to implore what was wrong with the status of education. And this call prompted Mrs. Judy Cooper, a lady from Ireland who had been teaching in Bethune College, Calcutta, to write an article in Stree Dharma, which just now Shanti spoke about, a monthly magazine published by Women's India Association of Chennai. This article caught the attention of Mrs. Margaret Cousin, another Irish lady who had decided to take up the issue of improving women's education in the country. And she appealed to all the women across India to hold conferences in different locations on the subject and gather in Pune in January 1927 to work on a memorandum on the reforms of women's education. Her appeal met with huge response, and thus began the journey of All India Women's Conference in the first conference in the Ferguson College, Pune, under the presidency of Maharani Chimnabai Gaikwad. We are privileged that WIA, whose journey started 10 years before, is a part of AIWC, and both the organizations have been able to safeguard and carry forward the legacy in the most efficient way with network of branches across India and nearly 500 branches across India and the strength of nearly 1 lakh members, voluntary members who dedicatedly work towards socio-economic empowerment of women. One of the initial efforts and the preservance of the founding members led to the establishment of the first College of Social Science for Girls in Delhi, Lady Irwin College, which is still one of the leading colleges under the University of Delhi. Another initiative led in the initial years was establishing the first branch of All India Women's Conference, Delhi Women's League, and a campaign against early marriages of girls through meetings, posters, petitions sent to all assembly representatives, which resulted in the enactment of Sarda Act that restrained early marriages and compulsory registration of all the marriages in India. There was no stopping thereafter. Right from pre-independence, prominent women from royalty, academics, and society were part of AIWC, and they contributed to the cause of women's empowerment and representation at national as well as international level. Well-known names among them are Sarojini Naidu, Rajeshwari Nehru, Rajkumari Amrit Kaur, Kamla Devi Chattopadhyay, Hansa Mehta, and many more. Lakshmi Menon, one of our presidents, was instrumental in inclusion of human right language in one of the UN documents. Carrying on the fundamental objective of the organization and the stalwarts, we continue the tradition of the conference, 2 in a year, about when members from across India meet, update each other about their work, discuss progress and setbacks, plan for the future, and engage in healthy discussion. Apart from these two conferences, for organizational purposes, we have bifurcated our branches in 10 zones, and each zone arranges meeting for the specific zonal branches. Currently, our activities, we are looking at overall holistic socio-economic empowerment of women, inclusion of their voices in all decisions, and addressing all cross-cutting issues which impede women's empowerment. Our branches conduct number of awareness generation programs on women's issues like health, environment, legal rights, women's safety, gender equity, and many more. Capacity building and skill development for income generation is one of the key areas, and once self-help group is formed and they have been they have learnt a skill, we try to give them a small micro loan through socio-economic program for setting up small enterprise. Apart from this, we manage short stay homes for women in distress, daycare center for old women, and health programs in number of states in India. This, at the international level, we have ECOSOC status with UN, observer status with UNFCCC, affiliation with UNEP, and our members regularly participate in international conferences like CSW, COP, and other related to our work. As I said, we meet twice in a year to exchange notes, and this is our 93rd annual conference for which we have gathered in this serene place of happiness retreat. And once again, thank you so much, Honorable Governor, for gracing this occasion and making this meeting a memorable one for us. Thank you, Padma and WIA team once more, and good day to all.
Thank you, ma'am, for your introductory words. I request the President to give a few words on the report on women's safety.
Recently, after some cases regarding women's safety in India across, and especially in Calcutta, we had an internal meeting in our office, and we thought all of us, WIA, All India Women's Conference and its branches, all of us have been working on women's safety issue for ages. But somehow it's always a setback, and the number of cases are increasing continuously. So we thought maybe we are doing some traditional method of addressing this issue, and we thought to go to the youngsters, get their voices included in our program and our objective. So we will get some new ideas, and probably we can strategize our work for future in a more appropriate way. So with that, we did consultations, number of consultations across in Delhi, 2 in universities, JNU and Ambedkar University, and 2 at the community level, where we asked even the parents of young mothers, young girls to join us and give us their view of how we can make Delhi a safer space. And we were able to bring out compile a report on this, and I would request our Honorable Governor to release the report, and we'll give you the copies thereafter. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Without much ado, I now request Srimati Vanaja Krishnamurthy, Treasurer, WIA, to honor Sister Brahmakumari Beena. Thank you, ma'am. It is with great pride and honor that I invite our Honorable Governor of Tamil Nadu to deliver the Chief Guest Address.
Dignitaries on the dais, Srimati Padma Venkatraman, President, Women's Indian Association, Srimati Kalyani Raj, President, All India Women's Conference, Sister Brahmkumari Beena, Tirumati Shanti Socrates, Tirumati Vanaja Krishnamurthy, Dr. Manju Kak, Dr. Bhuma Srinivasan, Dr. Upasana Singh, esteemed delegates to this conference coming from various parts of the country, all distinguished dignitaries, invitees present here on this beautiful occasion of this All India Women's Conference. I extend my warmest greetings and best wishes to all of you. At the outset, I like to impress upon the delegates who have come from other parts of the country, outside Tamil Nadu, that spare some time, visit some places. It's a beautiful state, full of heritage and history, very delicious cuisine, and best of all is the best season to visit our state. So spend some time, move around. Culinary needs, fashion needs, spiritual needs, all needs are here. Move around. This place is full of it. And the people are very hospitable, very nice. Women's Indian Association and All India Women's Conference, they have been pursuing the cause of women for long years. Of course, almost 100 years. Women's Indian Association is over 100 years old, and the other one is going to complete 100 years. You have been the catalyst to many reforms, many changes, which could make the lives of our women folk better. It has a very rich history, rich legacy, inspired by the great leader like Annie Besant and visionary leaders who carried it forward till today. We heard the reports. You are doing yeoman service. Being the very credible voice for the issues relating to women, you have a great responsibility. You know, generally there is a belief among men that men knows the women's problem. It's all around. But I know for sure, of course you know it very well, but I know as a man, I know that men do not understand much of women's problem. You know, my first shock was over 30 years ago when I was serving in the government, Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India. We had hosted a foreign delegation, And delegation comprised some women delegates as well. They had come to the North Block. You know, you see how magnificent it looks from outside. And during the course of the discussion, some women delegate wanted to use washroom. And everyone was at a loss. Where is ladies' toilet? It's not that there were not ladies working ladies in North Block. North Block hosts Home and Finance, two very important ministries. Thousands of employees. And a good number of women as well. Even those days, we used to have fairly good number of women. And everyone started scurrying around asking everyone else. Every man in the delegation asking the other man, where is the ladies' toilet? And nobody knew it. And then finally it was found, to our utter embarrassment, that it was somewhere out in the remote corner. Now, this is just a small incident, but it has a big message. How men do not understand women's problem. You know, we have been talking since ages, pre-independence, and we have been talking loudly after independence about women empowerment. We held various symposiums, seminars, policy papers, working groups. Off and on, some legislation, some rules, some regulations kept coming. But eventually these proved not very, very effective. They made some marginal changes, some improvement, but not much, not significant. Because we didn't address the issues in the fundamental ways. All the time we talked about women's education. The women must be educated. Good. Nobody questions that. But we didn't bother to build women's girls' toilet in schools. Now, all the talk of women's education couldn't fructify to its optimal until we look into the basics. In houses, every home, till about a decade ago, 60% of our country used to go for open defecation. We talked about women's safety, women's dignity. Why didn't it occur to anyone else before? When Prime Minister Modi started talking about toilets, some people made mockery of it. You have nothing else as a Prime Minister to talk other than the toilets. But today, with the toilets built in every institution, every schools, every office, every college, every working place, every public place, you see the difference. You know, our country today with a resolve is moving ahead. The country has resolved that in next less than 2.5 decades, we must be a fully developed nation. Self-reliant and fully developed. And is it possible without optimal contribution of half the population? It is not. And so, creating conducive environment. In fact, somehow I personally, I'm not very fond of the word empowerment because it sounds condescending. Every household, we all, in all our houses, including my house, we all know who is the pillar of the house. We know how, with the limited resources, the whole household is managed. And managed with sense of equity and justice to all members of the family. And the one who does it often at her own cost. And we talk about we will empower you. Somehow it doesn't gel with me. We need to create conducive atmosphere. We need to remove the obstacles. We need to create enabling environment for women to contribute their best. Today, education as such is not a problem as such. I, as a chancellor of my state university, 20th State University, I can assure you that whichever university I go, I find the women, the girls students are more than boys students. When it comes to the gold medal, the distribution of medals, I am pleasantly surprised that among the entire gathering of medalists, I have to strain to find out where is a boy. Almost over 80 to 90% medalists are girls. So while education issue is addressed or is being addressed, there are several pressing issues. And I'm sure you are all working, you have been doing great service, not to the women folk alone, but to the nation, because there lies the vested interest of the nation. The women has to grow, women has to be as much contributor to the growth of the nation as anyone else, if not more. There are new issues, the issues which were there at the time when these institutions were conceived. I think we have to address the new issues. And the new issues afflicting women in every segment. Let us say educated women, working women, women at home, those who are looking after the homes. In all these sectors today, what kind of problems women face? You would know it more. You would know it better. When it comes to the educated women, when we find that all over the country, more number of women are graduating and more number of women are gold medalists. When it comes to their participation in workforce, I mean talking about the formal workforce, I am not underappreciating the work that the women do at the house, but I am talking about a formal workforce because that is how the trend is. We still don't find representation adequate. Why? Why is it that the women who are intellectually capable are not getting into the workforce? We need to study. In fact, whenever I visit my universities for convocation, after the convocation is over, with a break when the students all have their lunch and all, when they come and I meet and interact with the gold medalist. Just out of my own curiosity to know what are their aspirations in life. Because I want to have a sense what my young generation is thinking about. Their thinking determines shapes the future. And when in the medalist gathering, overwhelming majority are women, I find a good number of them still are constrained or restrained. With the tears in their eyes, they say, no, my parents will not let me go to Chennai because the field is not safe. So what will she do? This is a problem which is prevailing. How to make our cities safe. There is a program Government of India has launched and is moving for a smart city, safe city program. But to make the city safe, to have adequate number of women's hostels in the cities, to enable so that the parents feel comfortable in letting their daughters go to the cities and work. not necessarily big cities, tier 2, tier 3 cities as well. Adequate facilities for the women, safe, adequate facilities for the women. This is a major challenge that we find our women, educated women, are facing. Women, those who are working, look at the handicap that they face. You know, there is a study. A study shows that every working woman, irrespective of the position, even one who is the CEO of a company, that women, besides doing the work that she is doing in the company or office, she has to spend about 5 to 6 hours for doing the domestic chores, looking after the household, looking after the children, looking after the husband, looking after the elders. All these things she has to spend. And it's a drain. Can something be done? I think it's the time that we have been talking a lot about, we have talked enough about awareness among women. There need to be creating awareness among men. Why don't they share the responsibilities? Can there be something? Can there be something thought of? Working women, those who have children, the small children, babies. I know that you have worked for some creches in the past. I have seen the record. That is not enough. It needs institutionalized response. You have a large number of women today going to offices all over. Industries, factories, offices. They are working. I think we need to move as an institutional response to all these institutions. There should be adjacent to the institution, as a part of the institution, there should be a play school for the children. Creche and play school. It has to be moved. Unless you move it, if you move it, things don't move on its own. It needs advocacy, it needs persistent pushing. If we want our women to come out and contribute to their optimal, we have to create conducive atmosphere. Today, unfortunately, the families are becoming nuclear families. Imagine husband, wife, a small baby. How can a woman go to and work? Invariably, most of them, they drop, they leave work. And with the discontinuance of about several years, at least 5, 6, 7 years, where is the prospect of getting back again? No. So, these interventions, that yes, today as we have built toilets in every institution, every office, every industry, every factory, women's toilet. Similarly, in the institutions where women are working, as a part of the institution infrastructure, there should be a play school for the babies. It will help a lot. We have a huge problem emerging, which brunt is borne by the women. And this is children born with autistic who are on a spectrum. In 2016, when I was part of the Prime Minister's office, I had done a study. At the time, I was given a figure that over 50 lakhs children on a spectrum were there in India at the time. My own sense is this was an underestimation. Because of inhibition, people don't even report. And especially if it's a girl child, parents are very hesitant to report. Now, when autistic child is born, and more number is, we are finding more and more, who bears the brunt most? It is the mother. No one else. Others might be, but it is the mother. And still we do not have a sufficient support infrastructure for such children, so that the mothers will have some relief. Now these are major problems of today. 50 years back, people didn't talk about autism. It was not there, and all over the world, it is accepted phenomenon that this is increasing. It wasn't there, whatever be, maybe the change in lifestyle or whatever be the reason. I'm not getting into it because this is a least understood issue as yet. And there is a study that shows that 75, more than 75% of women, mothers of the children, had at least once made attempt to suicide. It is a shock. First, it is a shock, and thereafter, it is a big responsibility. Can we think about it? There are major issues affecting the society. Society will take care, others will take care. But since you are a women organization, is thinking about the women's issues, I think these issues, it needs attention. Women, those who are in house, working at home, wherever there is a joint family, and by joint family I only mean 3 generations. Grandfather, father, grandmother, mother, child. 3 generations. Who takes care of elderlies in the house? Elderlies are not, because it is a Western view to take a human being, including women, as an economic entity. If you are economically not bringing cash to the home, you are not useful. This is not our way of looking at it. This is not a humane way of looking at it. We have never looked at a human being as an economic agent only. Yes, earning is a part of it, but everyone cannot earn. And everyone cannot earn for all ages to come. We all grow. There comes a time. Who takes care of the elderly? Elderly is the women who takes care of the elderly. What is the incentive that we have for them? It needs institutionalized intervention. We are not thinking about it. The family, a structure itself. If the family structure, wherever it is holding today, and unfortunately it is under huge pressure, it is the women who are holding this family structure. And we know that the breaking of the joint family, the breaking of the family, and more nuclear family is the cause of much of the problem. Much of the problem. Psychological, emotional, physical, all the problem. Now, if we value, and this is what traditionally we have valued in our country, family as a self-sustaining unit. If the value of the family has to be upheld and appreciated, obviously, the one who is the pillar of it, one who bears the whole responsibility of taking care of the elderly and infirm member of the house. What is that? It's time that we need to talk about it. It's time that there is institutionalized intervention. And this intervention will come